Let's break it down with Hand of the Week.
Welcome to the Hand of the Week, where we dive into listener-submitted hands. Each week, Patrick, our resident fish, and I tackle everything from questionable bluffs to hero calls and the hands that make you scratch your head. Whether you're looking for strategy tips or just want to see if you played it any better, we've got you covered. Patrick, what's happening?
I love that because that just sums everything up. Hero calls, hero bluffs, whatever you want to call them. I love it. All right, beautiful. I'm doing well, my friend. And yourself?
I'm doing very well. It's a little chilly, but other than that, doing quite well.
How about we play a little cards?
Let's do it. We're playing a tournament this week. This one's sent in by Helen Merritt, and she is playing a local tournament. The blinds are 250, 500, and she says we are in the 12th level of the tournament, which if we're at 250, 500 in the 12th level, we started way down there.
Yeah.
The rebuy is still available as well.
Oh, that's good to know.
She says it folds to us on the button. So you know what I'm doing.
Joe, we love the button.
Yeah. And if it folds to me on the button, I am raising. I don't care what my hand is right now.
For everyone that can't see me, 4 times.
You're going 4 times. I'm just going 2.5 times. But let's take a peek at our cards. We've got the Ace of Spades, Seven of Spades.
Oh yeah.
You know, like I said, I don't have to look at my cards, but since we definitely have a raising hand when it folds to us on the button.
I'm at 3. I mean,
okay.
Ace. I mean, you're suited up. You got the ace. You're on the button. Life's good.
Yeah. I'm going 2.5 times, so 1250.
Okay.
Helen just limps in, so she just calls. The small blind also makes a call, and the big blind checks. So we go 3 ways to the flop. The pot is 1,500 then, right? 5, and 5.
Yep.
And the flop is 8 of diamonds, 10 of spades, 9 of clubs. The small blind opens to 500. And the big blind calls.
Well, the low end of an open-ended straight draw.
Yep, because we have the Ace of Spades, 7 of Spades.
Yeah. Not the most ideal of that flop, but definitely not terrible. Here's the question that we face a lot of times, and I'm going back and forth here. Do you try to regain control here? So playing Helen's hand as is. You limped in, everyone called, a little ho-hum, a third of the pot bet here. Do you try to regain control and get it to heads up? Do you feel confident enough with what you got in there? Yeah, I don't, but...
We're definitely looking at this 2 different ways because I'm already, throwing my hands up. I'm like, great, we got ourselves in trouble. This is what we get for not raising pre-flop.
Well, and that goes back to it too, for sure. And Helen, I'm sure if you're an avid listener, which I'm assuming you are, you hear it all the time. Yeah, you got to raise pre-flop. You got to.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know why we would ever limp a suited ace there.
Yeah.
I might make the case for limping if we were later in the tournament. And ICM becomes a factor, but it's not. So raise pre-flop.
Yeah.
Now we find ourselves drawing to the dummy end of a straight. We really have to be looking for a 6, right? Because if a jack comes and they have a queen, we're in trouble. If a queen comes and they have a jack, we're in trouble.
Yep.
If one of them has queen jack already, now we're really in trouble.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean,
you got to get runner spades to still be in this. You're throwing your hands up and saying, we got ourselves in trouble, time to walk away. We wasted a button. Yeah, we wasted a button hand.
I'm not going to fold, but I want to fold.
I don't think a raise here is in the cards, though. I don't. I don't like that at all.
100%. 100%
Okay, all right,
not.
good.
I, Helen didn't tell us what the stack sizes were, so I don't know where we stand as far as that goes. But I'm definitely not raising. And if we're low, if we have kind of a short stack, I might not even make the call.
Right. Yeah, I would agree with that.
I think what I'm doing here is just calling, hoping for a six, maybe the six of spades, so that so that we also are drawing to the flush.
Yep.
Helen calls as well.
Come.
The turn card is
So wait a minute.
the
What is that?
four.
That's sorry. That's what 3,000.
Yes, 3,000, and the turn card is the four of spades.
Well, love the spades. Don't love the card.
Small blind overbets the pot, making it 3,350.
What?
So 3,350 into 3,000, and the big blind calls. All right, so Helen actually tells us now we have 10K in our stack. I can fold.
Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't agree more. I see ya. Thanks for playing. I hope the spade comes out and you sit there and wallow in it, but no. You don't want any part of that.
If I fold, I hope that the spade doesn't come out so I don't kick myself later.
Yeah, well, absolutely. But even then, it's you can't, no.
Yeah. I think at best,
all of our hesitation is saying no.
Yeah. And here's why, Helen. We probably have what? If we're drawing to the flush, we have 9 outs. And that's assuming that none of them have the flush either. And if we're trying to get the straight, then we have 3 of those.
Yeah.
Because there's a 6. A queen or a jack, and we're in trouble, I feel like.
Yep.
So if you count all 12 of those being an out, then it's 24-ish, a little over, to improve. And if we call, we're calling for, because you said we had 10,000, then that's 33% of our stack.
Yeah.
On 24% equity. So,
it's a really good way to look at it. It's really tougher for the other novices out there. That's something I've learned as we go is comparing those percentages. But yeah, it just is. It's not worth the call at any point.
Yeah. So Helen says, despite the upside, if I hit, I opted to fold despite my 17 outs.
Wait a minute, time out.
Yeah.
Where'd she get 17?
It's a good question. I think she's counting a jack, 4 jacks, and she's counting 4 sixes. That's 8. And then
the 7 spades,
which would still only be 16. And maybe she's saying if she hits an ace, she's good. And on the river, she would have hit the straight when the 6 of clubs falls. The blinds had 10-8. So one of them, I'm assuming the small blind had 2 pair then.
Yep.
And the other had pocket jacks. So on the board of, what was it?
So wait a minute. We have 8 of diamonds, 10 of spades, 9 of clubs. What, 4 of spades? And then what was the river?
The river was the 6 of clubs.
6 of clubs.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6 is what
Yeah.
she would have had.
Gotcha. That's why she said that. Okay.
And one of the blinds, I'm assuming the small blind, had 10, 8. She doesn't say what suit, but 10, 8. So they flopped 2 pair, while the other one had pocket jacks and was hoping for a queen or a 7.
Queen or a 6. 7, yes. You're right. 7, excuse me. Sorry. You still don't make that call.
No. She says there was an upside to make $30K if I make that call. Playing to win, I feel like I certainly should have called. How bad of a play was this? And I think I hate myself for not calling that.
Well, you can beat yourself up. Yeah, you can beat yourself up all you want, but it's the complete opposite of the quote, Helen, of how bad of a fold is that? It's the opposite. It's a great fold. Obviously,
100%.
Obviously, the card that you needed came out, but
you don't know that, because let's just assume that one of them has something like Queen Jack.
Yeah.
Then we hit our card and we lose all of our money.
Or Jack. Oh, you're right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Correct.
If they had, they could have Jack 7, right? And they flopped us straight. But yeah, it's not a bad fold. You had 9 spades, maybe 3 6s. That's only 12 outs. And again, if they have Queen Jack, then you're only drawing to spades. So at best, 9 outs. If they have a flush already, then it's only 7 outs. So it's definitely a good fold. And you cannot ever be results oriented when you look at that. Like, if that 6 doesn't come, then you're patting yourself on the back and we don't even break this hand down.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, it's definitely not a bad fold. I think your thought process in why you made the fold, I think that's where you need to look at your mindset. I think that's where you can improve, because you can't look at it as you had 17 outs. And if you had 17 outs on the river, then the decision's probably a little bit different. If you actually have 17 outs on the river, then that's 35-ish%, and now your percentages are different.
Yeah,
because it's right there on the border of whether you should make the call. So
it would have been a whole different scenario. And again, I mean, you could stretch. I see, we kind of counted to get closer to there as far as what her outs were, but the more legitimate side of it is it's far less. So that's why percentages are there. And yeah, it just I think you summed it up perfectly. If the 6 doesn't come and a spade doesn't come, then you're sitting here patting yourself on the back and you're thinking, oh, okay, well, I'm on to another hand and I didn't waste this money. But now it did, right. And you saw what the cards were for the other ones, and look, Helen is a good fold.
It was a good fold. I think that like I said, the place to look is your rationale as far as why you made the fold, but it was ultimately the right choice. So,
and the even better choice would have been to raise pre-flop.
100%. You probably get at least the 10-8 out.
I was thinking that. Jacks are going to play. You're not
getting jacks. Yeah.
But the betting would have been different, and every street would have been different from there, and you play that hand completely different. So
Yeah, and thank you for sending that in. It's a good discussion for sure, and definitely appreciate it. Patrick, thanks again for doing this.
my pleasure. Cheers to another week.
And,
we'll do it again.
If anyone else has a hand of the week that they would like us to break down, send it to podcast@80upmagazine.com. We'll see you next week.